Hey there, welcome back everybody. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is Destiny Love, and we're going to pick up where we left off last week. But I want to start off by saying once again, congratulations to the winners of the giveaway. That was really awesome how you all tuned in and participated. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So, I said that we were going to discuss things that you wanted to discuss this time, and a couple of questions I'd like to answer as well. So, I've only chosen 3 topics today, so let's get to it. Okay, first question. What do I do when he wants physical intimacy and I don't as much as he does, and he feels rejected and deprived? Number 2. How do I get him to open up to me? 3. My ex has a girlfriend now, and the kids love her, but I know she's not good for them. How do I stay calm? Okay, so we're going to start with number 2, which is how do I get him to open up to me? I want us to listen to a male perspective. There's a clip that's about a minute long that I want to share with you. Take a listen and we'll talk on the other side.
It's for somebody. But let me say this. It's not your job to make a man appreciate your presence. And I know that sounds counterintuitive to a lot of what I've said before, but it's not. You can't make a man really do anything, but you definitely can't make a man appreciate you and your presence and the fact that you show up for him and that you're being in his life. But what you should always do is make sure that a man respects your absence. As a woman, you must always make sure a man respects your absence. That means he must always have to acknowledge the possibility that he could lose you. And I know that sounds messed up, but I'm not telling you to play around with a man, to toy with him, to take for granted that men need to feel safe and secure in their relationship too, or anything like that. What I'm saying is speak the language of men. If you're going to connect with a man and get the best out of a man, you have to speak the language of men. And men, we communicate with loss. We understand loss. We understand that if we don't take care of something and we could lose it, we better bring our best. We better put our best foot forward. There's nothing in the world that a man is not in fear of losing or doesn't even respect that he could possibly lose, that he's going to do his best to keep. Nothing, including a woman. Everything that a man knows could be here today and gone tomorrow, he will fight to the death to protect. If he loves his children, his money, his respect, his reputation. You see men go to the ends of the earth for something that they know they could possibly lose at any moment. But have you ever seen a woman that's considered to be the woman that ain't going nowhere? She ain't going nowhere. Have you ever seen that woman get the best out of a man? Somebody tell me. I haven't.
Shout out to Derrick J and his YouTube channel for that clip. The link is in the description box for the rest of that video if you want to head over and check his channel out. I wanted you to hear the perspective of a man when it comes down to our presence with a man. I think he spoke volumes. So what I'd like to say is think back to who you were when you came together. How did you come together? How did you end up in a relationship with this person that's not opening up to you? Now, it's a possibility that he never opened up to you. Whatever type of relationship you're in, if that's a dilemma for you, perhaps they were never open to you. That's something you have to ask yourself. Another question you have to ask yourself is, have I outgrown this person? And so now the way I communicate is different than the way that they communicate. Do I need to be more patient? Do I need to get closer to find out what's going on? And the power of a woman is understanding who you are, being self-aware, knowing, okay, when we met, I didn't do this so much over here, or I used to do this and that. Wow, and I noticed when I stopped doing that, he kind of pulled back. He doesn't talk to me as much anymore. So that's something you have to assess within yourself. Men, as I said before, will go into a cave or into a place within themselves and do their best to work things out. Now, there are some men who have no problem talking things out. Other men innately, because of their makeup, their how they were raised, and what environment they were in when they were coming up, also can take hold in a relationship, can affect relationships. So again, the key is communication. That is the pulse of any relationship. So maybe he doesn't do well with you speaking to him verbally, even if he's your husband. Maybe he's better at writing it. So you email each other during the day or text each other, even if he's in the other room, not to create distance, but to create conversation. And then say, let's meet in the kitchen and have a snack together, or start laughing at each other again like you're teenagers when you were in high school doing such silly things. But you got to know each other real well, didn't you? Because you spent a lot of time doing that stuff. Think back to those times. That's just a little bit. We'll say more later. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, ladies, this physical intimacy thing. Some of us are more sensuous and sexual than others. Some of us are more affectionate than others. But when you're in a relationship, it is a partnership, and it's a give and it's a take. Which means sometimes you have to sacrifice not doing things or doing things that, maybe the other person might enjoy more than you do. But maybe they don't want to go bike riding, but they go anyway because you enjoy it. Maybe they don't like going to movies. They would rather sit home and watch it on TV. But they do it because you want to do it. Well, let's, push it up a little higher. Maybe they don't like cruises because they get seasick. But they take Dramamine and other motion sickness medication just to please you because they want to be with you. Sometimes we have to make those same sacrifices as ladies. Innately, men are going to need to release a lot more than we do, typically. A lot of women can go months and weeks and days without that, when they had a partner and when they didn't have a partner. I'm not one of those ladies. Okay, let's get that straight right up front. Okay, so I'm speaking to you now, not from experience, but from what I know, based on speaking to many on this topic. And again, and the degree that I hold allows me to also be pretty well versed in this area, let alone my own experience. Okay, but not in the area of not wanting to be physically intimate with my partner. And some of you ladies do this to punish a man, or because you're tired and you use it as a weapon. When you don't feel well, or it's a physical problem, sometimes even a mental health problem, and that man still wants to push himself in, or should I say not push himself on you, that's not cool, you know what I mean, wants to still go that route when you can do so many other things to pleasure each other, then you need to have a conversation. Again, we're back to communication, because you have to value yourself, or they won't. They just won't. Many times people, not just men, people in general, will go as far as you allow them to go. So think about your own body. Think about what you want, yes. But there are sacrifices in relationship. You need to talk about it. Don't ignore it, because you don't want to push him to something or somebody else. There are other ways to satisfy your man. Please email me at Bonita at walkingdestiny.org. Okay? So we can talk. If you need some advice in that area, I'm going to put my email address and my website in the description box as I normally do. So we're going to speak further on this topic as well. But right now, because my neighbor's dog is barking and I don't want to re-record, We're going to stop for now, and I'll pick this up in just a second. So what I want to say now is never allow anybody to abuse your body. And sometimes we do things anyway just to please a man, and it's hurting us. That's not okay, because you will pay for that later. Please, young ladies, please pay attention to your body and don't allow something to continue to happen that's hurting you. Now, I don't believe in telling my man no. And that's something that not every woman believes in. But if you say that before you get in a partnership, relationship, or marriage, a long-term commitment, and you behave that way before you get into that commitment, and then when you have him, if you will, you change, and that no longer exists because you had children, and maybe you don't feel as beautiful or as sexy or as attractive as you used to. See, that's all about you when this is a partnership. When that man may not have a problem with it at all because you've grown together and he appreciates you, but it's how you feel about you. So we're back to what this is about, is ladies obtaining virtuous endings. I want you to know that I have sons, so I totally love men and boys, but I also love all people. And as a woman, I learned some of these lessons very hard. And I want to try and help just give you, if it's just a mustard seed. You know how small a mustard seed is? But oh baby, when it is watered and watered and watered, there becomes an increase on the other side. Especially if you plant that seed in good soil. And here at Destiny Love TV, we know we good seed and good soil. So you're in the right place. Stay tuned and we're going to talk about this more. Okay, so let's move on. Several of you want to know, so what do you do when your ex has a girlfriend? Let's just stop right there. Do you trust your ex? Do you feel safe with your children in his presence without you there? Is he loving? Is he protective? Is he a provider? Now, I'm not talking about where he's buying them up the whole universe. No, I mean doing the best he can with what he has. Whether he lives in a single and he's watching over your 3 children and loving on them the best he can, and they're happy and laughing and joyous and know that they're loved, or living in a 7-bedroom, 5-bathroom mansion. Well, mini mansion. Does he love them? Are they safe with him? Then that's your only concern. If you are praying, ladies and gentlemen, take it before the throne of grace and leave it there. You send your children to school. You send them to camp. You send them on field trips. You allow them to ride their bikes to the park and to the beach and go to their friends' houses and go to games sometimes when you're not able to be there, and you're on the bus with their coaches and other fellow teammates. Why not trust them in the hands of their father? Now, let us not be ridiculous. If that person is abusive, whether it be verbally or physically, and your children are saying things that cause you alarm, we know that's a whole nother story. But you don't have to like her for them to love her and for your ex to love her. Remember that, my love. Well, I think that's enough for today. We've covered a lot. You might need to listen to it more than once. Share it with a friend. Please like the video. That allows other people to see it more, because you know the algorithms, because we're small, we need to have more likes so more people can see. I'm not selling the channel. However, we do want to spread the love. I wonder what Joan would think about that. So, I want you to continue to stay tuned, because we're going to get to the topics that you want to talk about, all of them. And when we're done with that, we'll move on to the next thing. Oh my goodness. And I am looking forward to our Christmas giveaway. I'm going to do it completely different this year. I know I'm thinking about Christmas already and we're not even at Halloween. Okay, sacrilege, that Halloween thing. I call it Hallelujah-ween, okay? Anyway, Ching, are you listening? I hope so. I wonder what your holidays would be like. Anyway, this is Destiny Love TV, and this is Destiny Love, aka Bonita Briscoe. So good to know that all of you have tuned in to hear what I have to say. And don't forget, you are valuable all by yourself. We'll see you next time.